Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dr. Goon, aka Jobbers and Goons, and today we have a special video because this guy's crazy as shit. This is a Carnage Goon video. Shout out to all the Carnage fans that have been waiting on this. And to celebrate this video, the coupon code for this week will be Carnage. So if you want to purchase a video, it will be discounted at 30, and use the code Carnage to successfully do so. But anyways, getting back to this, Carnage, if you don't know, is a character from Marvel Comics. He's an absolute maniac with a symbiotic suit. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you want to see Carnage return for part 2, smash the like button. Let's get it up to 500 likes for part 2 to get in the works. Also, come check out my Discord. It's completely free, and I hop in VC daily. So definitely come check it out. Hang out with me. Hop in VC. We can talk all that. Have a lot of fun. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's begin. First moment we got to talk about, it's in the thumbnail, and it's god tier goon stuff. So Carnage, when he deals with Spider-Man, he's usually dealing with Venom too, because they don't want to shoot the ones with the boy. Like, he's too dangerous, he's too about it. They don't like those 1v1s. So he, at one point, it's like pretty early on too, he's getting chased by them, right? And he's like, dude, I'm sick of y'all trying to cramp my style. I'm just out here trying to catch bodies and do my thing. And he finds a baby while he's running from them through like an apartment building. Grabs the baby and is like, yo, y'all worried about me? Go catch this. Yeets the shit out of that baby. W in the chat for Carnage thinking outside the box. Of course, they gotta go save that baby before they get him. So he's able to run off of the plug. Shout out to that baby for getting famous off of Carnage being around him. Definitely a W moment for Carnage. It was crazy to see. Like, I don't think they'd write this kind of stuff right now, but it was definitely a wild moment for Carnage and had to be on the list. This next moment I appreciate because it gives me a chance to clown that boy Nightcrawler, the jobber. That's right. So at one point, I forget why Nightcrawler was beefing with Spider-Man, but he like gets the drop on Spider-Man, right? And Nightcrawler's got the sword to him. He's like, yo, don't move. You know, I could do you dirty right now, all this shit. He's talking crazy. That boy Carnage sees this jobber about to win and is like, nah, I can't let that slide. Dips in and drop kicks the shit out of Nightcrawler. I'm talking about folds his ass and is like, yeah, don't let that jobber get the drop on you, Spider-Man. Like, that shit, that's not a good look. And just the fact that he pulled up like that on Nightcrawler and made sure the boy did not get the W was god tier. And, you know, it had to make it. So, shout out to him for bopping on Nightcrawler so casually. Now, next is a moment when Carnage had to let the B tiers know you have to have a certain level of clout to win against him, right? Like, you're not gonna beat him unless you have really good feats before and a dope-ass resume. With that in mind, he's brawling with a bunch of people, including Cloak and Dagger, right? Cloak has like this dimensional portal in his cloak, all that good shit. He gets Carnage and tries to drop him through the portal, right? Carnage is like, yo, you fucking B-lister, I'm not going out like this. He's like, you're not gonna BFR me with this trash can ass dimension. And he's like, this suit makes me way drippier than any dimension you could find. And he literally pulls his ass out of it, just like for no reason. Like, and like him literally overpowering a dimension with his tendrils from his symbiote just because he's like, I'm not going out to a B-lister. God tier moment. It's amazing. Now next is the time Spider-Man found out what his op was really like, right? Like, yeah, Spider-Man's dealt with bad people before. They do hood rat shit all the time, but this is next level, right? So he's going through files on Cletus Kasady, aka Carnage, trying to get some more information, right? Parker's going through the shit, finds a file. Basically, he's at an orphanage once, and Kasady killed staff members of that orphanage, put them on a t-shirt as a child, and then proceeded to burn the orphanage down. That's right, this boy is an absolute monster. And so Parker's reading that shit, and he's like, yo, what kind of demon am I beefing with? He's like, this kid's been taking it to the next level since he was fucking 8 years old. Like, how am I going to win a beef with a madman like this? And yeah, just reading the background on Cletus had that boy shook. So for that, it's a Goon moment for sure. Next, W's in the chat for the boy Cletus. He gets locked in a cell with Eddie Brock, right? If you don't know, big part of his origin. And when he's in the cell, I don't feel like people talk about this enough. He's annoying the shit out of Eddie. Keep in mind, Eddie's trying to look swole, right? He's doing like pull-ups, all that shit with his shirt off in prison. You know the vibes. He's trying to be intimidating as shit. Cletus is crazy. He doesn't care about that. So he keeps talking to Eddie, and Eddie's like, bro, you kill civilians. Like, you literally put innocence on a t-shirt. You're not tough. Like, I don't respect that shit. And he's like, the fact I gotta live in here with a psycho like you is terrible. And Cletus is like, yo, bitch, if you don't stop talking, you're not gonna be living. And I was like, damn, big Cletus. Already, he's like, he instantly from 0 to 100 was like, yeah, I'll literally kill you if you keep hating. So shout out to him for vibe checking Eddie Brock in the prison cell. Next is an amazing vibe check against Venom. So Carnage is slinging across the city doing his thing. You know, he's pulling up to catch bodies. You know the vibes. You know how he works. And Venom pulls up. And Venom's like, bro, like, ever since you become a thing, like, I almost consider you like a problem child. But, like, you can't just kill a child, you know? Like, you can't do stuff like that. He's saying all this wild stuff to Carnage. Carnage is like, dude, shut your dumb mouth. He's like, I do what I want, and guess what? Even if this hypothetical is true, like a baby was born, I just body it before it's a day old, dummy. And he grabs Venom and yeets him across the city. Just throws his dumb ass. Literally gets him out of the picture. He's like, yeah, shut that dumb mouth. Don't try to tell me what to do. And I was like, damn, Venom, you're just going to get tossed like that? But yeah, he shouldn't have pulled up trying to lecture Carnage. I would never lecture Carnage. That's a waste of your damn time. But yeah, he threw Venom across the city for being dumb. Next is a time he pulled up on Deadpool, right? And this is brutal. F in the chat if you're a Deadpool fan, because he gets annihilated here. So Deadpool pisses him off at one point, right? Big mistake. Carnage gets the drop on him. Starts literally blending him, like cutting him and shredding him to pieces. And while he's doing that, he's like, yo, Deadpool, shout out to you for getting my attention. Shout out to you for pissing me off. Shout out to you for putting me on to, like, mysteries and all that shit. You're the reason I'm here. Matter of fact, you're the reason I'm absolutely folding you. Like, you're you're taking this L because it's your own fault. And, like, usually you see in moments like this, Deadpool say something funny, right? There was nothing to be said. He was getting absolutely blended by that boy Carnage. And it was embarrassing for Deadpool. And I had to add it to the list because it was a hell of a vibe check. He literally shredded him. Now, next is a hell of a vibe check and pressure applied to that boy Spider-Man, right? So, Spider-Man pulls up on Carnage. He's going back and forth with him. To be fair to Spider-Man in this case, when he's dealing with someone like Carnage, he's obviously going to assume it's someone like Venom, who, although Venom is stronger than him, he can, like, somewhat compete with him. He can somewhat throw hands with him and, you know, hurt him. So he's like, you know what, Carnage? I'm sick of your shit. I'm going to throw everything I got. I'm literally going to rock the shit out of you. Throws his hardest punch he's got, right? When he throws it, he looks at Carnage. Carnage turns and is like, that was a weak-ass punch, bitch. And Spider-Man's like, oh my god, I'm about to get melted. Yeah, he was shook. Because that boy Carnage was like, yeah, that punch was shit. Like, I eat those. And it was definitely a scary moment for Spider-Man. Because he was for sure certain he was about to get put on fucking life alert after seeing him eat that. Now, smash the like button if you haven't already, because these last two moments of the video are insane. So this first one is a time, well, of course, B-listers, like I said, they tend to get shredded when they hang out around Carnage. Don't do that shit. So, Sin Eater's there, right? And he's got a shotgun pointed at someone. He's doing hood rat shit. Carnage isn't going for that. He slings in, singing the Spider-Man song, except he remixed that shit to be Carnage Man. And he grabs the shotgun, flips it under the chin of Sin Eater and makes him kill himself while he's singing his remix. That's right. Literally one-shotted, t-shirted a B-lister like Sin Eater, and then just sang some karaoke after that shit. Like, that's about as goon as it gets. I don't know what else y'all would want from him, so definitely hit the like button, because that shit's crazy. And W in the live chat for Carnage. Now, last moment is a wild-ass moment we kind of credit more towards Cletus, but again, Cletus and Carnage are the same thing to me. Like, they both made each other. But anyways, he's getting into it with Flash Thompson. At this point, both of them are crippled. Like, literally, they basically got their upper torsos. They get into a brawl. Both of them don't really have access to their symbiotes at this time, so it's just them, right? And Flash Thompson initially kind of seems like he's getting the upper hand, and then he just hears Cletus go, "Yo, bitch," dropping down from above, and you see half a body Cletus sling himself at Flash and start cutting him up and brawling with him and beating him up and being like, "Yo, you think you're a man? You're not a man, bitch. You're just a pig. And I'm slaughtering you." Like, he was talking crazy and folding him in this pay-per-view cripple match, which was amazing to see. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're looking forward to future content like the Dr. Doom Hall of Fame Goon video, let me know by hitting the like button, commenting down below. Definitely helps me stay in the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for helping me grow. Definitely check out the Discord when you have a chance. Anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. Alright, real quick, if you are a fan of my content, make sure to check out all the links in the description to support the channel. You can either Cash App, PayPal. I also restarted Patreon. Definitely check that out. It has a couple tiers with amazing perks, and my memberships on my YouTube just got revamped. I cheapened everything so that more and more people can support, as well as I sweetened the deals to make sure you guys get the most out of it. So if you want to support through that way, make sure to check it out, as well as check out my free public Discord server if you want to join up, talk comics, and have a good time. And without further ado, let's begin. So, this video has to come first, right? I did watch Shang-Chi yesterday, and I'm going to do MCU Cap vs. Shang-Chi Complete War, but I promised you guys a Goon video before I did that. And what better character to do a Goon video on than perhaps one of the gooniest to ever step foot in comics, Dr. Victor Von Doom. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to give you a background on Dr. Doom, like who he is, and then I'm going to go over some of my favorite Goon moments. With a character like this, not all of them will make it in this video, so if you run up to likes to, like, I don't know, 450, I'll drop a part 2 Doom Goon video. Okay, so 450 likes, and we'll do that. But anyways, let's begin. So, who is Doom? Doom is the rightful ruler of Latveria, his own country, as well as his mom, given her mystic ties. He is a user of the mystic arts, and overall is the op to the Fantastic Four, as Reed Richards is his intellectual rival. And Dr. Doom, in his escapades as one of the more dominant figures in comics, has always strided to be the king and has literally become God before. So let's get into some of his gooniest moments and some of my personal favorites that I thought were hilarious. Number one, he ran off on the plug when it came to Silver Surfer, robbed that hoe of his power. So he saw Silver Surfer and he was like, "Yo, this dude has mad potential. He just jobs. Like, he's a jobbing ass bitch, but he is strong." So he hit up his minions, and he was like, "Yo, we're going to bring Surfer in." Brought in Surfer, started confusing Surfer with big words. Then he had his homies jump Surfer, drained his power, and Surfer was like, "Yo, you don't understand. With the power cosmic, you could, like, blow up a galaxy and Dr. Doom was like, shut up, bitch, and like slapped him away and ran off and did hood rat stuff with Silver Surfer's power. Anytime Surfer takes an L, I'm here for it, and I love the way Dr. Doom went about that. Number 2. One of the godliest moments in comics. I don't care, don't at me. His interaction with Luke Cage over some money he owed Luke. So, if you didn't know, classic Doom was kind of racist. He always has, like, racial undertones. And just, basically, he's if you ain't from Latveria, baby, he don't care about you. But, getting into this, what happened was some of his people, or Doombots, defected, right? And went to the hood. And they became hood robots. And so he was basically like, yo, Luke Cage, I can't go to the hood. It's going to stand out. I'm white. So you got to do it. Luke does it, right? But when he comes back, he didn't get paid. Dr. Doom left and told the dude at the hotel or whatever to tell Luke he ain't paying him. So Luke pulled up to Latveria and they scrapped, and Doom's like, I'm still not paying, bitch. Eventually he does pay to get Luke to go away. Because Luke, if you owe Luke Cage money, his scaling increases infinitely. It's absurd. He was beating up everyone in that comic for a few $100s. But yeah, he tried to stiff Luke on the check and started like an international crisis over it. It was godly. Number 3. Oh man, this is one of his best trash talking moments. So there was a point in time when, of course, the multiverse and the universe itself was under threat of collapse, right? And it's sensical in that moment for any parent to want to talk to their kid and like express their, if we don't make it, I love you, like this is goodbye, right? So Reed's doing that with his daughter and his kids, and Doom goes, you are a weak-willed father. Oh my god, what an ass. Yeah, he literally, like, we're threatened with the end of existence, so it's reasonable to say bye to your kids, and Doom saw that as weak. That shit, oh man, that shit just cut through a deep moment, and it was comedy. Next up, this is personally probably in my top 3 for Doom moments. So there was a situation in which Namor got into some shit involving threats to the universe, and eventually he's like, yo, I need help. He went for help to the wrong source, and he comes to Dr. Doom and tells him his situation, right? And he's like, yo, I need your help. And Doom goes, sorry dog, I can't. And Namor's like, bro, like, all of reality is threatened if you don't help me. And Doom says, yeah, but nobody picks Doom second on the team. He literally was like, dude, I'd rather universe burn before I get picked second, bitch. I'm the GOAT. And it was one of the most ignorant things I've ever seen in comics. And it goes to show how high of an opinion Doom has of himself. Next, we have one of his biggest asshole moments. He should have got beat up for this. Probably should have died for this, but he didn't because he's Dr. Doom. So there was a situation, one of the most, in my opinion, like crazy supposed death moments in comics, where Johnny Storm faced off against like the Annihilation Wave and self-detonated, right? And this tore Ben Grimm apart because he wasn't able to save his best friend. And Doom, the next time he sees them, was like, yo, Ben, we smoking on that Johnny Pack, my guy? And Ben was ready to fight. Because he was like, yo, Ben, I thought you were a hood rat. Like, I thought you rode for the homies. Where's your dead homie? Why ain't you save him? Like, I'm talking about the most hurtful trash talk you could talk. Ben was ready to fight. Sue Storm stepped in. This is how crazy of a trash talker Dr. Doom is. He got Sue Storm to threaten to turn him into a vegetable by putting a bubble in his head because he was talking crazy. That, like, F in the chat for hating on him being a godly trash talker. She was really about to get out of character and commit a fucking like the most brutal of fatalities to Dr. Doom. Next, we have the weapons he keeps in his hood. So if you didn't know this, it's super hard to pull up on Latveria and just solo it. Literally, Dr. Doom in his castle, in his domain, has weapons specifically designed to like body Galactus type characters. Like, he's forever ready at his home turf for some crazy shit to go down and for him to have to prepare for it. So don't be surprised if you just see a comic where randomly Doom has like an outerversal weapon chilling on his damn dining room table. That's how he moves. That's how gangsters get down. And Doom is notorious for like having just random, especially in the old comics, having random superpowered weapons just laying around. Next, we actually know that Thanos is wary of Doctor Doom, like essentially keeps an eye on Doctor Doom because Doctor Doom is one of the most capable characters in comics. If he wants to mess your life up, he's probably going to pull it off. So because of that, even high tier characters like Thanos, who's a goon himself, has to keep an eye on Doctor Doom. One point, about every other decade or a decade or so, Doom's going to basically become a god. That's like how it is in Marvel Comics now. It's like, it's inevitable. Like Doom, his drive, his ability in the mystic arts and science allows him to steal high tier shit and to do high tier shit, and he's been god on a couple occasions. So literally it's to be expected at this point that we're gonna get a god Doom. Like he's always striving for godhood because he's a goon, and so you have had multiple storylines where he becomes a god. That's not many characters just do that just because they want to do that. So that's an absurd goon moment in and of itself. At one point, speaking of like god moments, he ran into Thanos, right? Thanos, let me rephrase that. Thanos ran into him. So Doom was on his goon shit, walking around, talking his shit. He's in god mode. Thanos runs up on him and starts talking shit like, "Shut up, mortal, you're a bitch. I ain't gonna bow down to you." And Doom's like, "Yo, big homie, you got the gauntlet, my guy?" And Thanos was like, "Bitch, I don't need a gauntlet to handle you." And Doom was like, "All right, give me your spine, pussy." And rips his spine out. Straight up tears his spine out. I think what he exactly said was like unfortunate or something. Something mad disrespectful. Basically like, if you ain't got a gauntlet, why the fuck you wasting my time? And tore his spine out, just absolutely humiliating Thanos himself. Next, we have another disrespectful moment. This was when Doctor Doom ended up in Mephisto's realm. So usually, when you end up in a Marvel Helllord's realm, that shit's difficult. Like, you're going to have a hard time, because they're crazy. Well, this is what happened. He pulls up. Mephisto's like, "Yo, you belong to me now." Doom's response? Punch to the fucking mouth. He's like, "Get out of my face, bitch. I ain't owned by anybody." Doom starts literally mugging Mephisto in his own realm, like physically mauling him and making him like back off. And Mephisto's like, "Oh shit!" Like you just heard the mic muffle as he was getting his ass beat on the mic. It was horrible. Like it was such a disrespectful ass whooping. Like trying to enslave or take like the soul of Doom is like one of the worst ideas you could have, and it's gonna get your ass beat. Ask Mephisto about that shit. Next up, we have his Daredevil trolling shenanigans. So if you didn't know this, at one point, Doom dressed up as Daredevil and did Daredevil shit. Why? I think he was just showing off and just proving, like, he has hands, but... like, who... Why would he do that? Like, that's like Doctor Strange dressing up as, like, Moon Knight and going around beating people up. Like, Doom just does so much unnecessary shit back in the day that it's comedy. But yeah, if y'all didn't know this, Doctor Doom is a legitimate martial artist. Like, he really can fight. And he was like proving he could mimic Daredevil. It was hilarious. Next up, we have one of his most badass moments. Goon moment for sure, but it's also badass. So at one point there was a group of mad celestials. I believe it was 4 in total. They pulled up. Richard's daughter needed more time to prep. She was doing something. I forgot exactly what she was doing, but she was doing something. She needed more prep to basically like salvage the day. And Doom was like, "All right, look, dog, how long you need?" And she was like, "What?" And he was like, "How long you need? I'll buy you some time." And she was like, "With mad celestials?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, how much do you need, dog?" And she was like, I don't know, just buy me time. Bro went out there and started brawling. Just like holding off 4 mad celestials in his Gucci mink coat. He was like, "What's up, bitch? You ain't coming in here." and held them off. That's ridiculous. The absurdity of his magical defenses in that moment when he had to hold it down for the set, like, that was ridiculous. And Doom was wildin'. Just being able to hold off one would be crazy, but he held off 4, which is absolutely insane. Next, we have that time he had to explain to Namor why Doom is always on his high tier based shit, like eats first before everyone, gets the best shit, all that, right? Namor's questioning this, and Doom's like, look, no question about it, I'm a man of my people, but you gotta remember, they're my people. That is, I'm the big dog. I do everything around here. I hold it down. I make sure everyone's safe. I make sure we prosper. All that. So guess what? They all know I eat first. I eat the best. I get the best shit because I'm the GOAT. And he was like, Namor, you used to remember that shit. You used to act like that. You used to be a king like that. But you don't move like that no more. You're not a gangster like that. Oh, man. And Namor just like had to put his head down like, damn, I'm really getting bossed up on right now. Yeah, but Doom had to boss up on him. And it was pretty funny to me because obviously it's kind of messed up how, you know, he's saying everyone's inferior to him. But it's funny the way he defends his positions because they're kind of logical low-key. Next up, we have him surviving a beef with one of the most dangerous gangs in all of fiction. Yes, I'm talking about the Yancey Street Gang. This dude pulled up to beef with Ben Grimm because he hates Fantastic Four and like killed a Yancey Street kid. A kid died because of the stuff Doom was doing. And so the gang's like, yo, Ben, we don't give a damn if you're riding up and pulling up on whoever did that shit. We're pulling up. So they pull up. They start scrapping Doom bots with Ben Grimm. So, and then Doom pulls up and he's like, yo, fuck Yancey Street. And he tries to kill them all. And they manage to escape. But just like the fact that he's willing to beef with kids just to get back at Ben Grimm is crazy. Like, classic Doctor Doom was a wild time. Like, that was just wild days and wild shit. And it was pretty funny to read. By the way, comment down below if you want a Yancey Street Gang Goon video. I would be more than happy to do that. Next, we have him. I think this is kind of an underrated moment. Basically, he was scheming on IG Thanos. He's like, yo, run the gauntlet, bitch. I need those gems. I could do a lot of nice things with those. This eventually pisses off Thanos. Thanos blasts him with the gauntlet. Doom does get some of his suit burned off, but he gets up and he's like, yo, bitch, I'm still gonna rob you eventually. I was like, oh my god. Like, the fact he just tanked the gauntlet and like got up and was pissed and was talking about still robbing the dude that just shot him with the gauntlet, that's pretty goony. And I think it's a pretty slept on Doctor Doom Goon moment. Next, we have another disrespectful Doom moment. He pulled up to a conference in which, you know, it's a bunch of... It's hard to call them villains because sometimes they're anti-heroes, but there was villains there. They're doing hood rat shit. Unavoidable. But they don't trust each other, right? So when he arrives, Emma Frost starts trying to read Big Doctor Doom's mind. And he looks over at her and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And she's like, what? And he's like, I know your jobber ass is not trying to mind hacks me. Like, there's no way you're dumb enough to think you possibly qualify to achieve such things. And she, like, it was so... He genuinely seemed offended. She thought that she scaled to him. Or that she, like, the audacity of that move by her. That, like, she didn't really know how to respond. Like, it was an intense situation because Doom's like, you have some nerve trying to step to me. And it was funny because, like, she is... okay, Emma Frost is a jobber, but she is known for having, like, pretty big moments as a potential mega-level mutant. So the fact that he just casually, like, told her to kick rocks was comedy. Next up, we have one of his craziest power moments, and that is his duel with Marquis of Death and him eventually finishing off Marquis of Death. If you don't know, Marquis of Death was one of the craziest characters we've seen in Marvel Comics. I actually made a video on him, and I think I did him versus Chaos King. Marquis of Death was like a eat casually multiversal threat, and that's why a lot of people compare him to Chaos King. Doom finished him off, right? And then he talked to, I think it was Ben Grimm he was talking to. He was like, anyone that wants to beef with Big Doom wants to deal with death. And when you feel like dealing with that, pull up to Latveria, pussy. And he leaves. He was like, you want the ass whooping? Here's the Addy. Pull up. And, oh my god, it was such a bar. And it just shows how, like, immaculate Dr. Doom's trash talk is in crazy situations. Like, he always knows what to say in its comedy. Next, we have some of the shit he did as a god, right? Like, you couldn't tell him shit in his god days. He didn't need friends, you know. He was like Orlando Brown with it. He had God.
Yeah. Now I know why he ain't got no family. What? Get the fuck away from here, nigga. I got God!
And then you see what he does with this power. It's some of the messed up stuff he did. Like, he took an army of Thors. Thor, one of the most respected gods in Marvel Comics. And he made them basically mall cops. They were his mall cops. And then he took Ben Grimm, one of my favorite characters, but this is still funny because of how goony it is. Turned him into a wall only Trump could conceive or dream of. And he turned Ben Grimm, one of his biggest ops, into a literal wall. Absolute disrespect to one of his easiest top goon moments. Next, we have the fact that, like, the Hood loves him. This seems to confuse everyone, which in itself makes it goony, is like how crazy Doom is. Beef he always starts with people, the messed up shit he does. Despite all this, his Hood loves him. They ride for Doom. They're like, no, Doom's the man. Like, yeah, sure, we're oppressed. Sure, this and that. But we know we don't take L's because we have the GOAT. So it's like that kind of energy. The fact that Doom's not completely hated by everyone. A lot of times it confuses the shit out of people because he's a horrible person. But it makes his adventures comedy, and it makes his status as a ruler and like his place in the verse very interesting. Next, we have one of his funnier like old moments when in classic comics, where he explained how he always kept a spare weapon, a spare plan to save Earth if Dr. Doom is not enough to save it. Because if Dr. Doom can't save it, there's only one person that can. And who is that? Dr. Doom, bitch. He made a second Dr. Doom to be broken out of its container in case they needed an extra Dr. Doom to get the job done and save Earth. That's how confident he is in the drip. He's like, yo, the best possible thing if one Doom's not enough is two. So in case of an emergency, break out the other Doom and we'll get the W. Godly moment. Next was when he won a debate with a god. What do I mean by this? This was so disrespectful. Pulls up on Wakanda and hops in VC, hops in Discord with Bast the Panther god, and is like, yo, I'll debate you on if I'm the GOAT and if your country should surrender power to me and like all that mystic shit and all the vibranium, all that. Like, I should get it all. And Bast is like, dude, no, like, you're crazy. Get out of here. He's about to hit him with the ban button. Doom wins the debate. Doom convinces Bast that he is the best chance for, like, Earth to prosper and therefore for Wakanda to prosper. Bast gives him power. Absurd. This led, of course, to controversial moment where Panther renders vibranium useless and all that. Because if y'all didn't know, in comics, vibranium, like, amps magic. But, I wonder if they're going to do that in MCU with Peter Parker when they showed that magic suit. But that's for another video. Anyways, getting back on topic. This was a crazy moment because literally Bast is supposed to be on the same pantheon as, like, the Phoenix Horse. So it's pretty crazy. Next, we had a pretty funny exchange between him and Spider-Man. In which Spider-Man was, like, talking shit about how Doom had lost with ultimate power before, like, a cosmic cube would give you, or an infinity gauntlet. And Doom was like, alright, bet. Next time I get some shit, your ass is getting erased. He was like, yo, Spider-Man, you're annoying. You're getting erased expeditiously. And the fact he did that, and the fact he said that, and the fact I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan was super funny, so I had to throw it on the list. But it was a great exchange. Spider-Man does have good exchange with characters. Next was one of his wild or controversial statements he made. Was it racist? Of course it was. Let's talk about it. Do we cancel Doom after this? You tell me in the comments. So, Doom was arguing with Black Panther, and he was like, you know what? You impressed me, T'Challa, you know? I was always told Africans were superior physical specimens. And Panther goes, Doom, please don't tell me you're about to say, but Africans are dumb. And Doom said, that's exactly what I heard. Yeah, cancel. But then he doesn't stop there, though. He goes, but you Wakandans are smart. So you would think, like, maybe that was just like a weird kind of like racist, old white guy type vibe comment. Like trying to compliment, but it was kind of racist. But he doesn't stop there, too. He keeps going again. And he goes, yeah, you Wakandans must be mutants. Like, the only way y'all could be this athletic and smart is if you were a mutant. So you gotta have mutant DNA. No way an African could be like... I was like, oh my... Doom, shut up. Doom, oh man, do we cancel Doom? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that was a wild-ass moment. He has a lot of statements like that, but that was crazy. Next, we have him tanking the Gauntlet as God Emperor Doom. Black Panther got the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm not going to lie to you. This was a moment in the comic where I personally thought, I was like, oh my god, this is about to be the moment for Panther. Like, Panther's about to get the job done and finish him. That's not what happens. Doom tanks it. Absurd moment. It was like a wild-ass power flex, and the fact he was just tanking everything at that point, he was like, yeah, get off me, bitch, I survived. It was a crazy, crazy moment. Now, final moment for the video. If you haven't liked it at this point, please hit the like button. Love y'all so much, but let's talk about it because it's one of my favorites. Because he was talking to, I think it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always saying dumb shit. Spider-Man goes, yo. He was debating somebody and goes, yo, on this topic, my homie over there can speak to us. Yo, Vic, fill in, like, let him know the vibes. And Doom looks back at him and he goes, Spider-Man, I need you to understand that we keep a horrible, horrible torture chamber type place for people that use my government name and refer to me like that in the street, bitch. Don't ever call me Vic again. He's like, and it showed. He has a torture chamber specifically for people that call him by his real name. He don't like that shit. Don't do that shit. Call him by his street name. Doom, bitch. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this Goon video. 450 likes. I'll do a part 2 to Dr. Doom's Goon moments because he has a countless amount of them throughout Marvel Comics. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Doom is one of the goats of the Goons in comic books in general? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please support by reaching out either through Patreon, my YouTube memberships that are updated, or Cash App and PayPal. If you can, that would be amazing. If you can't, show love with the likes and subscriptions. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy, YFV, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. Okay, so one thing that was interesting after seeing Far From Home, and I know you guys think based on a thumbnail, some of you might think this is for MCU Spider-Man or Raimi's Goblin, I mean. That's not what this is. This is comics Green Goblin. But anyways, I just used the picture because it's hilarious. But a lot of my friends, I have a lot of casual friends in real life, right? They don't really read comics. They kind of know some of the stuff, but they don't read it a lot. I saw the movie like 3 times. Obviously, it's my damn job. I'll be making MCU content on the coffee shop. Go subscribe. But they all basically said the same thing, like, yo, why did they make Green Goblin so savage? Like, why is he so messed up? Why is he such a horrible person? Like, I didn't know Green Goblin was that terrible. I'm like, what? Green Goblin's always been horrible in the comics. So with that being said, shout out to everybody that's a fan of the Green Goblin. And if you're a fan of the horrible things he does, smash the like button. We get this to 600 likes, I'll drop part 2 because he has so many moments. I honestly, there's so many to go through. So with that being said, keep in mind, I didn't forget moments. They just got left out for future Goblin videos because I can't fit them all in one video. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Go ahead, settle in, and without further ado, let's begin. First time we're going to talk about is when Norman Osborn had to vibe check Ben Reilly for forgetting his place. So if you didn't know, Ben Reilly is a Spider-Man clone, okay? He's B-list by virtue. He doesn't really do shit. A lot of y'all probably don't even know him or read his stories like that. With that being said, he pulled up on Green Goblin, thought that shit was sweet, and proceeded to get absolutely mauled by Green Goblin. And when Spider-Man showed up to save him, Goblin grabbed him and was like, oh, look, the real Spider-Man is actually here to save you because you're trash. So yeah, this, I mean, there's several moments where he's vibe checked B-listers, but this is one of the funnier ones. Next, the time, so a lot of people know him because the new Spider-Man movie, not really spoiling anything, but the boy Dafoe as Goblin was amazing in it. And they kind of know him for Raimi's Goblin. And that one died to the glider. Well, in the comics, he's too much of a goon for that. Yes, he indeed gets struck by his glider with what should have been a killing blow. But he's got too much shit to do, and his healing factor kicked in. And he actually tanks what kills him in the movieverse. And the fact that the movieverse version is a goon and gets casually outgooned here, straight up, is a big W. This next moment you will see, and unfortunately, something that's kind of common for this character when he runs into Goblin. You might never have heard of him before. Swordsman. He is a B-list, probably C-list. Obviously, given his name, he's supposed to be good with swords, right? Tell me why he ran up on my boy Osborn. Osborn grabbed him by the throat, lifted him up, took his own sword, and skewered him with it. I'm talking about as disrespectful as it can get. That's like taking Green Arrow's bow off him, an arrow off him too, and then just folding him right there with it. Like, it's like as disrespectful as you can get with their own shit. So yeah, I definitely had to make the list. Next, the time he folded a Sentinel for trying him. So this is actually pretty crazy because Sentinels are not easy to bring down at all. Most of them, even the low tier ones, are capable of taking down most X-Men team members, including giving characters like Colossus and Wolverine a really hard time. And he pulled up on one and he's like, yo, robot guy, suck a dick. And then he just throws his damn glider at it and blows it up. Like, just hits it in the face, blows its face up, and one-shots the Sentinel. It was funny. It is important to note that he dropped a bar at this point in time and said, in your eye, robot guy. So definitely got to give him credit for a bar. This moment is kind of just like paying homage to the fact that he is one of the biggest threats to property in Marvel. Like, in terms of just being a dude that's gonna run up the bill for insurance and for characters having to replace shit getting blown up on the street, Green Goblin's up there. The dude just rolls around, and if he thinks at any point causing chaos by blowing random shit up will help the cause, he's dropping a pumpkin bomb. And he's liable to say something corny to you, like, eat pumpkin. So yeah, like, he definitely, just the fact that he's always blowing shit up, include mostly random people's shit, is hilarious. Next, another swordsman moment. This was, oh god, this was super disrespectful. So, Goblin's beating the shit out of Swordsman, what's new? And Swordsman at one point is like begging, and he's talking to himself, and he goes, oh, mother. Like, basically begging for his mother at the near end of his life. And Goblin goes, yo, real shit, you don't have a mother. What you had was a fat pig. This fat pig spit you out, and here we go with your bum ass. And just blows him up. Disrespects the shit out of his mother. Calls her a pig in a very elaborate way. And then blows him up. Very disrespectful. And like I said, really only knows swordsman for getting beat up by Goblin. This moment has to do with his origin, right? Like, he's been a goon from the start. He's one of the smartest characters in Marvel in terms of his scientific knowledge. And one of his colleagues was in prison. And basically, Osborn, he saw some notes, right? And he was like, damn, this formula looks hella dank. I'm not gonna lie to you. And he's like, my colleague's in prison. He really can't say anything, really can't do anything with this. Why don't I get buckets in his honor with his work? Hits the lick on his partner, right? The formula blows up in his face. It goes horribly wrong, produces the split personality with the Goblin. Suddenly we have the Goblin who thinks he's literally the realest to ever exist, and he's the GOAT. One of the funniest villains you'll ever see. But yeah, his origin, even off rip, he was a hooligan. Next moment is basically, there's a couple moments stemming from this battle, but he's pulling up on Spider-Man, right? He's fast as shit. It's dark out. There's a lot of rain. In this fight, we basically see Spider-Man have an inner monologue where he says, first of all, he can't really react to what Goblin's doing. Goblin is just stupid fast. But he also says, basically, Goblin has a crackhead style, completely unpredictable, and even though this is like their 1000th time fighting each other and scrapping, it doesn't matter. Like, he doesn't know what the hell the dude's gonna do because he's crazy. So his crackhead game plan style definitely deserves a nod. Next, let's talk about the fact that he's low-key either mind-hacking the writers and editors, or he's, I don't know how to explain this, but it's kind of funny. If you go check his fact files that basically give his stats, they do give some graphs with like power, intelligence, energy projection, all this shit. You go read some of his different fact files and guidebook pages. His height changes. In some, he's 5'10", in some, he's 5'11". Is the boy capping about his height? Let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Like, why did he hit a growth spurt of an inch? Like when he's a grandpa? That's crazy. Is he is he built different? I don't know. But yeah, let me know. It's kind of funny to me. Next, the time, this is kind of going back to that battle in the rain. We find out he's a fat shamer. Yeah, so he's fighting Spider-Man, right? And like I told you before, the battle wasn't exactly going in favor of Spider-Man. He was kind of getting his ass beat. And so Goblin's like, yo, you're dumb, you're lazy, and you're fat. And that's why I'm beating the shit out of you. And like, he, of course, you know, this got a little bit of a rise out of Spider-Man. But just the fact that the boy's fat shamer, like, cancel the dog. Like, he's a horrible person. But yeah, he was even the skinny guys like Parker can get fat shamed by him. It's crazy. Next, the time Human Torch ran up and learned a lesson. So, if you guys didn't know, historically, Human Torch and Parker do kind of get along, crossover, all this stuff. Both are kind of, you know, have their immature ways. But regardless, at one point, Goblin's running up on Spider-Man trying to fight him, right? Doing hood rat shit. And Human Torch pulls up. And Goblin's like, great. I'm trying to run the fade with my main list fighter, and this off-the-grid guy is trying to ruin my day. Let me deal with this shit. He hits Torch with this weird-ass gas and almost incapacitates him immediately. Like, within a panel, it was life or death for Human Torch. He literally was like, yo, I think I might have to go Nova. Keep in mind, this is just Goblin trying to get him off his ass. He's not even trying to, like, he didn't prep for this like crazy or anything. It's just something he had on him. and he had Human Torch like fighting for survival. It was comedy. Next, the time he saw through an illusion. So this is a lot crazier than it looks on the surface level because it's dependent upon who cast it. First of all, if you didn't know, the boy Osborn at one point was like had a shield, ran the Dark Avengers. He was doing crazy shit. And we'll talk about this a little more later in the video. But at one point, Doctor Strange casts an illusion on them. First of all, it's Doctor Strange. It's strong immediately. Osborn sees through it. Not only that, though, it was a spell including and invoking the Vishanti, who are some of the strongest gods and godlike figures in all of the Marvel cosmology. So the fact that he was like casually saw through it and was like, yo, Doctor Strange is wilding again with illusions is absolutely absurd. Next, the time... Oh, this is disrespectful. If you're watching this live stream, F in the chat for Namor. This is a bad L for Namor. So, Namor has this ex-girl, right? This ex-chick of his, Marina. And Osborn gets the file on Namor, finds out about her. Tell me why Osborn took Namor's ex-wife, turned her, like, permanently into her animal state or whatever, basically a monster state, and weaponized her. That's right. He turned Namor's ex-girl into a weapon of mass destruction and then unleashed her on Atlantis. That's a tier 4 Goon moment if I've ever seen one. That's so disrespectful. And he casually did it and was talking about it while sitting behind his desk relaxing. Next, the time he ended the hype. That is Black Widow. So, of course, one of the main things that gives Black Widow clout in her verse is, like, one of the top, obviously, spies, intelligence officers you'll see. This is big for her in terms of being, like, very sneaky, high on getting away, and just overall one of the best stealth agents in the game. With that being said, Osborn captured her and was like, yo, just want to let you know, I've been styling on you this whole time. And she's like, what? And he's like, yo, I tricked you. I pretended I was Fury. I made you look dumb. You went for every play I did. You went for every move. And she was like, yo, you really tricked me this whole time? And he's like, yeah, you casual. You bum. And she was like, yo, burn in hell. And he was like, yo, you're going to hell. And I just showed you how to get there faster. And it was an absolute savage moment in which he completely ended her clout. Next, you're going to see one of the most messed up clout PR moments ever. So, if you didn't know this, I learned this. So, basically, every Goon video, Jobber video I make, I pretty much learn something about the character. Sometimes it's a lot. So, with that in mind, I didn't know he was a god of PR in the worst way. So, he was like, yo, Dakin, you're acting like Wolverine, but everyone knows you're a horrible person. Facts. In fact, all of us are horrible. We need to get your clout up. What he did? He planted bombs in buildings, blew them up, killed multiple people, but planted a living baby for Dakin, however it goes, to go in, pick up the baby, and walk out with it looking injured, messed up, all that, looking like a savior. That's right. He slaughtered buildings of people to make Wolverine's son look good in PR. That's just terrible. And finally, we're kind of gonna head off this as the final moment of the video because part 2 is gonna be crazy, and I know y'all gonna run the likes up. We have the time that Norman needed to get people off his ass, right? Like they be on him. They're trying to connect him to Goblin. He needed to make a play. He hires an actor to pretend to be Goblin, right? This Goblin actor kidnaps his 5-year-old grandson and makes sure he's seen running off on the plug with little Osborn, right? So he takes the baby, and then Osborn pretends to be traumatized. He's like, oh my God, we'll meet any demands from Goblin. We just want our kid back. I can't believe this is going on. Yeah, he jeopardized the life of his 5-year-old grandson just to make sure the public was off his ass about him being the Goblin. So, with that in mind, guys, do you think he's as savage as Raimi Goblin? Do you think he's as funny? I certainly think he is. I think he's pure comedy, and I hope you guys hit the like goal so we could drop part 2 sooner rather than later. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out the coffee shop, my second channel. I'm going to try to get up some videos today on there before New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. I had a blast making this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But anyways, see you guys later, and have a safe night. Peace. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today, in Lou, because of basically the fact that he's so popular right now due to the Thor trailer that recently dropped and Gorr is being featured, we're doing a Gorr Goon video, kind of educating the masses on how savage this guy is, because really he picked up the Necro Sword and spun the block. And we're going to review that today. If you want to see content like this continue on the channel, make sure to smash the like button, 400 likes, and I will post part 2 to this. Also, if you hear movement in the background, it's because I have dogs walking around while I record. It is what it is. But I hope you guys enjoy this. And again, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. And if you want to see your favorite character here or on the coffee shop, make sure to hit me up on Discord to talk about purchasing content. I would appreciate it greatly. And also join the server. It's completely free. But thank you guys. And without further ado, let's begin. So, first thing we're going to do is obviously go through his moments throughout his run. Thing with Gorr is he didn't have that long, so it's not too crazy to cover. But getting right into this, as soon as he picked up the Necro Sword, basically he was angry with the gods for not helping him and saving his people. And when he found 2 dead gods that fell out of the sky, he picked up the sword and was like, all right, it's time to spin the block. And he had the power of the Necro Sword and the All Black, which we know is connected to Null from later stories. But anyway, what's some of the Goon moments he's had as this vengeful hater of the gods? Well, first of all, Thor finds out off rip that he's dealing with a real one, right? Like, he pulls up to this abandoned throne room and is like, oh shit, this entire pantheon was slain. And it turns out that even rookie year Gorr was pulling up on pantheons and body bagging them in their own home, which is horrible. Now, next moment, basically, he lets everybody know his power level is OD. So, he basically, when he pulls up and t-shirts people, he will leave a reminder that he was there and he did the dirt. Now, typically, the constructs are what's left behind. He will leave constructs made with this power that are like guard dogs. And these guard dogs are OD. We learned this because Thor gets pulled up on by one of the guard dogs and gets pressed. He literally had to throw hands with it just to get it off him, and it was like, yo, shit. These are just constructs? That's crazy. But yeah, shout out to Gorr for his goons he makes literally being about it. Next, we have the interaction, or one of the many interactions between him and young Thor. This came in their first fight. At this point, young Thor's kind of wary. He's like, yo, something out here is moving greasy because gods are ending up dead. And this leads him to getting bopped on. Like, literally ran into by Gorr, and they start brawling in the sky. And young Thor was perplexed. He's like, this is not good. So basically, like, while he's fighting, he's like, yo, I'm trying to, he's like reminded of this god that Odin had to deal with, and that Odin like had to put him down and all that. And the god had kept saying there's something far more frightening, and he couldn't help but think about this as Gorr was putting paws on him. I'm talking about dive bombs him in the air, and Thor is like, holy shit, what is going on? As he's literally like going back and forth with Gorr, he realizes Gorr has the juice, and Gorr starts bullying him. Eventually, this leads into young Thor getting bullied. Like, Gorr's like, yo, young god, you talk a lot of shit, you think you're all this, all that, but you pulled up and got this work. And he stabs him, right? And he's like, what are you the god of? Are you the god of, like, being drunk? Like, being stupid? He's like, are you dumb? Like, Gorr starts getting mad, disrespectful. He's like, you pulled up on me for the smoke, and you need help. Like, you're trash. Like, he was like, you should have never came to me to throw the ones, because you've definitely disappointed everybody that was Team Thor. And of course, Thor does save himself with a thunderbolt that he summons, but dude, he was getting mauled by Gorr. Like, Gorr beat the shit out of him and was talking crazy. He's like, dude, you're not the god of anything special. You're just like every other god I've put on a t-shirt, and I'll continue to put on a t-shirt. You think you're better than everybody else, but you're not. And it was just a disrespectful moment. Now, next, we have the struggles of Thor. And let me tell you why this makes Gorr a gangster. Remember when I was talking about his constructs? Like, literally, he makes more constructs, and Thor is going from Pantheon to Pantheon, basically just checking in on the bodies. Like, dude, bodies are dropping left and right. Thor arrives, fights another construct. Dude, the trolling constructs that Gorr left behind, this construct literally took hours for Thor to beat. This isn't even young Thor. This is an older Thor, like the prime Thor, so to speak. And he's unable to, like, outright just defeat a construct. It takes him several hours to outbox one. That's absolute insanity that, like, Gorr, the messages he leaves are basically Thor level. Like, they can give Thor a good battle for several hours. That's gangster as hell. Now, next is when we find out this savage moment from Gorr, thanks to the City of Gods. So Thor goes here to get access to information on what he's dealing with, which is, of course, Gorr. And as he's doing this, he gets to a library. Basically, this library has information on all the gods, right? Like, you can go through, find the information on every pantheon ever, what happened to them, what's going on, all this. There's also, like, a Hall of Dead Gods, basically books with dead gods' names in them. This man, Gorr, and smash the like button if you're a Gorr fan, because this is where you really see how drippy he is. This man, Gorr, had halls worth of books filled with names of gods he bodied. That's right, this man is literally responsible for entire halls, or like an entire hall of books being just his bodies. Think about that. A book, every word's a different god's name. He bodied like multiple shelves worth. That's a ridiculous amount of packs he smoked. Is this the pack record on the channel? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. He might be the GOAT of smoking op packs. Gorr had a lot of ops he smoked. But yeah, that was an insane moment to check the stats. This next one is another flex from a body Gorr had to his name. Thor, while searching about Gorr, planning to battle him, all this, obviously learns more information about the ventures of the God Butcher, right? And one of the people he bodied was supposedly insane. Like, this god that he put hands on and put on a t-shirt, apparently Gorr fought a dude that literally would, like, just for shits and giggles, go body slam a black hole. Like, he would find black holes throughout the Marvel Universe and just body slam them. Just because he could do that shit. And this dude got casually played with and t-shirted by the boy Gorr. It just goes to show how extreme the boy Gorr is when he's trying to kill ops. Next, we have another feat for the Gorr gang. So, by the way, let me know in the comment section if you want to see this feature of Gorr's power in the movie. I want to see his constructs. His constructs are nuts. And we saw at one point during Tales of like what Gorr had done. Gorr had literally constructed armies of constructs. These constructs were, not only are they autonomous, like can operate by themselves, they would pull up on pantheons of gods, start beef with them, and then literally body the pantheon of gods. That's right. This man Gorr juiced up his little construct gremlins, right? These little super construct gremlins. He gassed them up to the point they were taking out pantheons by themselves. That's insanity. But again, when you're rolling with Gorr, you never know what's going to happen. He's a goon trying to slay everybody. Now, smash the like button for the final moment of Gorr the God Butcher. And F in the chat for Thor, because that boy Thor got dropped here. That's right. Gorr gets into it with young Thor. We already went over that. Well, at the end of the fight, he gets captured. And Gorr takes him to his cave. And Thor's like, yeah, dude, I'm not saying shit. Like, I don't care if you beat me. I don't care if you capture me. You better let me go before you get jumped. And Gorr was like, yo, that's not how this conversation is going to go. He's like, I think I want to go to Asgard. He's like, I think I want to go there and t-shirt everybody you love. So you're going to tell me where all that shit is. And Thor's like, dude, I would never fold to you. And Gorr's like, bro, I've literally tortured gods of torture. You're definitely going to get folded if I want you to. And of course, he would go on to torture Thor. But yeah, the fact that he beat up Thor right here and folded him and tied him up and was just punking him on the mic, insane goon moment. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Gorr in the comment section down below. And if you want to see a part 2, smash the like button. I already have the moments ready. I'm just need to see y'all hit the like goal. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the upcoming content, and I am streaming tonight with Chuck. I will see y'all later. Peace. Alright, so I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I have certain characters that I wish had better writing or more consistently were portrayed to win and stuff like that. And for me, one of those would have to be Taskmaster from Marvel. Luckily, someone went ahead and purchased 2 Goon videos for Taskmaster. So a part 2 will be coming out, which you should look forward to. But in this one, we're obviously going to explore all the wild stuff Taskmaster has done throughout the years. Now, on top of the Taskmaster video we're about to do, I think what I'm going to start doing is giving out coupon codes every time someone purchases multiple videos at a time. So in this instance, the code is Taskmaster. Discount will get you 25 of video, so only $25 of video that you request and purchase. Hit me up on Discord and use the code unlimited uses. This will expire in 2 days, so definitely hit me up. But anyways, getting back to this, I hope you guys enjoy Taskmaster, because we're really about to get into some of his funniest feats he's ever done. And without further ado, let's begin. So, on his way to chasing the bag, right? Like, Taskmaster had to get some shit done. Oftentimes, in cases where Taskmaster's on a mission or trying to make a play, he has to use stuff he's emulated before. Styles he's emulated, voices, emotions, patterns, all these things. He does this, in this case, by copying the drip and voice of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man himself. And copying exactly his voice and code, he's able to literally break into Stark's personal lab, which is insane. So shout out to the break-in ability of my boy Taskmaster, as he's capable of breaking into basically anything. Next, we have the time that it was revealed how Taskmaster is able to remember so much fighting shit. So obviously, with his power being to copy styles, moves, abilities, techniques, emotions, all these things related to combat in the fields he works in, Taskmaster has to have a way to manage such a vast amount of info. He explains in one instance that his brain actually in each compartment has like combat situations, normal memories, family memories, shit like that, and his brain will opt to get rid of certain memories in order to store combat memories. That's right. He's literally wired to be about the fade at all times, which is completely badass and was dope to see for his character. Next, we see that there's a lot more than just him copying other characters when it comes to him being prosperous in the thief and mercenary business. So, upon breaking in one time, he was obviously boloing everything. He was getting past security, getting past traps, all that shit. And he was explaining that one of the ways he became so amazing at thief work and spy shit is he literally had a bunch of James Bond movies and a bunch of Mission Impossible films and would literally just watch them all the time and copy them. Like, he would literally copy them in order to perfect the way they would hit licks, get the drop on ops, all that spy shit. He literally learned from watching fiction, which is hilarious. Next, we see him actually like style on someone while cycling through all his styles while drinking, I think, what was soup. So while he's sitting there like eating his soup, having a good time, chilling, all that, they're like, yo, shouldn't you be worried people are running up? He's like, yo, relax, pimp. You gotta understand, I can literally cycle through all my styles, techniques, all that pretty much instantly. So I don't really give a shit if I get run up on. And sure enough, when they pull up on him, due to his finesse and all the skills and techniques and looks and patterns at his disposal, Taskmaster easily gets away from his ops, absolutely embarrassing them and casually getting on the run. Next, we see one moment in which, in particular, Taskmaster absolutely styled on somebody in terms of just shitting on them in their own field. So, I believe it was in a Daredevil run. This one character was, in particular, a chi master and working on several high, caliber techniques and moves. While doing this, Taskmaster runs up on them. The character looks over and is like, yo, back up, bitch. You don't want no beef. And Taskmaster's like, what if I do, bitch? And they're like, yo, you see these techniques? You see these moves? I've literally taken 10 years of non-stop practice to master and perfect these. Taskmaster runs up and is like, cool. I learned them in 10 minutes, pussy. And punches them in his shit. Absolutely folds him with the chi techniques, proving that he can indeed casually style on you, even after moments of seeing something that took you forever to master. Next, we see he has a really dope feature to his photographic memory. So, of course, he remembers all muscle movements and stuff from characters he interacts with. In one instance, he had basically, and you'll see this from a moment later in this video, he had some memories overwritten by the fact he had to absorb a fighting style way above human comprehension, right? So this led to him forgetting certain people in his life. During a fight, a couple characters were trying to get him to remember them, and while he's battling, I think one included like an ex-wife or some shit, and while he's battling, he realizes who they are, and he's like, yo, look, it doesn't matter what happens to my memory, if it gets folded or whatnot, because regardless, I'll recognize y'all's battle movements anywhere because of how fucking good I am at what I do. Like, don't even disrespect or doubt that. And they're like, oh shit, bet. And yeah, so he can literally remember you just by the muscle memory that he's seen before. Next, kind of like I just mentioned, the time. This was an alien technique, and it came in a fight Taskmaster had with one of his ops. And the dude was like, listen, I know how to body you. I'm going to use a style because, like, it's an alien style, literally alien. You don't have the physiology or literally the mental capacity to even comprehend the style and do anything. And so he spins the block, starts fighting Taskmaster. Taskmaster downloads the style anyway. Ends up getting the win, like overpowers the dude by using all his styles. And ends up pretty easily, like, beating him. But the problem was, this did cause him to lose some memories, but like I said, he's such a goon and such a good fighter and has such a flawless fighting memory that he remembered those people anyway later because he remembered their fighting styles and techniques. Next, we have the time he ascended to God of Poker. So this was funny as shit. So while on an undercover mission, of course, the boy Taskmaster, aka Tony Masters, he was on his James Bond shit. He's spying, and he's watching a poker game go on, right? And he's like, yo, I've been watching this for a little bit. That little shit over there is for sure cheating at this shit. And after observing the guy, he's like, all right, bet, I'm ready to play. So Taskmaster hops in to play poker with everybody. Keep in mind, Taskmaster's not a poker guy, and he's playing someone that's legit a monster plus is cheating. Goes to play everybody at the table. Tell me why the boy was cleaner at the cheat than the dude who was cheating first. Ends up styling on him and becomes the poker god. It was hilarious to see, and definitely a W for Taskmaster. Put that in the chat. And run this up to 500 likes, by the way. That would be amazing. I love you all, by the way. Shout out to the Goonies, or whatever I'm going to call y'all. We'll probably have a vote on that next week for the channel. But anyway, getting back to this. Next moment, we have the time he got in a brawl with Captain America. But check this out, right? This wasn't a normal brawl. As Taskmaster's brawling with him, he's like, hold up, you stupid bitch. I've fought Captain America plenty of times. I've also fought Winter Soldier before. I've studied Winter Soldier. I've seen what he does in fights. You are Bucky, you dumb bitch. And Bucky, who was obviously at the time masquerading as Captain America, was like, shut up, bitch. They start scrapping, and he's like, I'm gonna knock you the hell out for, bringing that up, saying basically I'm a fake, all that shit. And he's like, come at me, bitch. And they start scrapping. Taskmaster's fine, and eventually the fight gets broken up. But yeah, it was hilarious how he called out Bucky for what he presumed to be basically acting like he was really Captain America, when really Bucky was doing what it takes to amp his team and his side and lead them to victory. Final moment, again, smash the like button if you haven't already. Shout out to all the Taskmaster fans that have come to show support today. We have the final moment. This is the time Taskmaster got ran up on by multiple Spider-Men. I'm talking about Miles Morales and Peter, right? They immediately get rocked and knocked out of a window. And as they're getting launched away, Spider-Man's like, bitch, I told you. He's like, bro, we can't just run up on Taskmaster. Like, that shit is not that sweet. And Miles is like, you're right, fam. My fault. I almost fumbled that bag. Could have really got us fucked up. And they had to double back to try to get the win again and prep and, like, strategize, because they couldn't just run up on the boy. He was too slick with it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, there is a discount code. Check out the beginning of the video. It is Taskmaster. Gets you 25 a video. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dr. Goon, aka Jobbers and Goons, and I want to make a couple announcements. First, Title Wars, the winner will be announced tonight for this Venom video when I do a battle, or I'm going to do a random banger of a battle on this channel late tonight, and I'll announce the winner there. So you guys have plenty of time to go. Yeah, so check out the tab, comment your title for the video. Winner announced tonight. Looking forward to that. Also, something I'm now doing daily in my server is coffee chat. Every morning from like 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, roughly, I'll be up in VC talking to fans about certain topics related to comics, anime, all that. So definitely come check it out. Free to join the server, and I'll be doing another chat after this live premiere. So definitely check that out. And if you want to purchase a video for your favorite character or topic for any of my channels, whether here or the second channel, the coffee shop, where we just hit 2K, definitely hit me up on Discord. But anyways, without further ado, this is a Goon video on Venom. I have titled it Venom Bringing the Black Symbiote Energy for X amount of minutes. I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's begin. Now first, we will examine kind of like a hilarious reasoning for why he does the shit he does, because when you really think about it, it's not good justification, right? So Venom, when back in the day, he used to have this like obsession with the protection of innocence. Like, to him, protecting innocence is the highest of goals. Like, that's the pinnacle of what you could do. With that being said, we've seen Venom torture people, eat people, beat them up, throw them across the city, mutilate, like all this wild shit. Like, he's an absolute madman, committed like Hall of Fame levels of felonies, and he's preaching to us about protecting innocence is absolutely wild. So him like thinking he's the good guy in a lot of the shit he does makes him a goon in itself, because he really thinks he's protecting innocence. Next moment is a scuffle he gets into with Juggernaut. Now this was wild because Venom was being mad dismissive and disrespectful to Juggernaut. The reason this is crazy is Juggernaut is considered typically like a team threat, like a team buster level threat. He's as strong as anyone, including Hulk and Thor. He's got the Sidorak energy, and he's a monster. You just don't want to brawl with him. But that being said, Venom was mad comfortable in the pocket, and at one point was like, yo, bitch, I am done with you. Grabs Juggernaut, literally throws him through several levels, and floors him pretty casually. So the fact he was bullying someone like Juggernaut with ease is insane and had to make the list. Now, this was a wild moment because it was mad disrespectful and be a horrible way to go out. So Venom was separated from Eddie and looking for Eddie, right? As he's doing this, he gets into a scuffle with some criminals. Of course, they're armed, including having automatics. When the dude raises his gun to headshot Venom point blank, Venom catches the bullet, right? So Venom catches the bullets, right? And this dude's horrified. He's like, holy shit, this alien thing just literally caught the bullets. Not only that, Venom proceeds to spit them back casually, so fast that he folds the person that shot him. So that's right, he literally spits like a machine gun and instantly killed this guy pretty casually too. Because like while he's doing that, he's like thinking about finding Eddie and shit. He doesn't really care. And he folds him, gets rid of him by using his own bullets that were fired at him, which is an absolute goon moment. Next, oh, by the way, 500 likes if you guys want to see a part 2 to Venom. So smash the like button. I forgot to give you all the like goal in the beginning of the video. My bad. But anyways, getting back to this is we have a funny Venom doesn't care about civilian casualty moment, right? So this moment, like I said, another civilians just gotta take the L moment, baby. So here's the thing with Venom, right? Spider-Man admits it in this moment too. If Venom wants to fade Spider-Man, he's going to do what it takes. He doesn't care who's in the way or who gets hurt. With that being said, he's on Spider-Man's ass. This is a perfect example. He grabs a cab and is like, fuck it. Throws the cab full of civilians at Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like, oh shit. Has to make sure they don't die. But he can't even stop the check because he's literally about to get mauled by Venom. So the fact that Venom is like the king of using civilians to his advantage, like he's gonna ball regardless of casualties or not, makes it a hilarious moment for the list. Now, this next moment is a part where, unfortunately, a security task force ran into Venom. Now, if you're a human with a gun, stay away from Venom. Like, I don't understand why you think your efficiency is gonna go up or anything, but we see Venom go against this security team, right? And he's melting through them. I'm talking about he pulls up on the first one and is like, get out of my way, bitch. Yeets him so hard into the wall that he literally died. And then what makes it comedy is that, like, just a few panels later, he's like, oh shit. This security task force might not be for what I thought it was. This might not be terrorists. Like, I might have just killed... Fuck it. Doesn't matter anyway. Like, he just keeps it moving. Like, Venom is a beast. Like, he doesn't really care about casualties, all that. He's going to keep it moving. One of the most savage members of the Goon series so far. Next, we have a confrontation with Spider-Man. Now, as you know, that's his biggest op. So, naturally, he's always going to have run-ins with Spider-Man. But in this moment, it was pretty funny because of how disrespectful it was. So, he had, like, agreed before this with Spider-Man that he wasn't going to kill Spider-Man, right? Well, he got to going back and forth with Spider-Man, was arguing and all that. Sick of that shit. Chokes Spider-Man. I'm talking about drops a couple tendrils, wraps him around his neck, and wrings his bitch ass out. Just completely chokes him out, knocks him out, and is like, yo, I did say I wouldn't kill you, which is true. But I never said I wouldn't choke your dumb ass out. And was like, got him. And so, yeah, this moment where he choked out Spider-Man and just, you know, put him down for the disrespect was God tier. Now, this next moment we have to appreciate because we always shout out jobbers when they get clowned on, right? And this was my boy Wolverine's moment. So, Venom's in the middle of mauling someone, right? Wolverine's trying to stop him. How's he doing that? Well, in the best way he knows how, by attempting to end the life of Venom. So, Wolverine's literally on his back, clawing at his skull and stabbing him in the skull. Venom turns around and is like, yo, Wolverine, I know you think like you're some kind of hero and that you're hurting me and that you're fighting and all that shit, but you're not doing anything. In fact, all you're doing is making me hungrier, dummy. And the fact that, like, Wolverine's best efforts just got Venom to be hungrier is insane. But yeah, we can't expect nothing less from the big jobber himself. But shout out to Venom for negging Wolverine casually and making it on the list. Now, this next moment was actually pretty crazy. This was when Venom got sick of the hacks, right? Venom might be a little hacked himself with the tendrils and the symbiote and all that, but he's not trying to deal with no bullshit, right? Runs into an op who is using invisibility. Venom does not like that. How's he respond? He's like, okay, look, I know you're here within the next street or two, right? I know you're on the city block for sure. You're invisible. You think that shit's like gonna stop me? No, dummy. And he literally begins filling the entire city block with his symbiote in order to catch the invisibility guy. So, not only was he countering invisibility, he was, like, making it to where the character had to panic. They're like, yeah, I think it was it might have been Daredevil using invisibility. I forgot how he got it, but he's like, yo, I thought this was an advantage, but, I'm basically getting folded because of it. And, yeah, the fact he was able to fill the block like that was absolutely insane. Now, this next moment actually makes Venom look horrifying. Venom pulls up on vampires, right? He does not like vampires. Why? Obvious reasons. Vampires torture, kill, mutilate, all that to humans, right? They do it to innocent civilians. Venom's a dick, but he's not the worst, right? So when he sees the vampires, he's like, yo, y'all are the ones that think you're bullies, right? And he starts snagging them, pulls one over, and he's like, look, bitch. He's like, I know you've been cutting up civilians, torturing them, drinking their blood, all that shit. He's like, what happens when you run into a big dog, though? What happens when you run into the OG? He beats the fuck out of these vampires. Not only that, though, literally starts devouring their brains, and he's like, what's it like to feel like a victim? What's it like to be my bitch? Like, Venom's talking crazy to these vampires, and he absolutely mutilates them. Like, just the fact he's torturing vampires to prove he's the real big dog on the block is insane and deserves a like from y'all. So definitely hit the like button. Ha, shameless plug. But let's get into the last moment of the video. This is, in my opinion, the funniest on the list so far. So, Venom was in the bank, right? Bank robbers pull up. Venom he can shapeshift, if y'all didn't know, because of the symbiote. Turns into a nun, resembles a nun, right? And he's saying nun type shit. He's like, our Father who art in heaven, all that. And he goes, give me the ammo. Turns into Venom, like right away, and starts mauling the horrified bank robbers who are like, yo, I thought this was a fucking nun. Like, where the hell is this alien coming from? So yeah, him dropping bars, turning from nun to symbiote instantly was comedy. And yeah, he balled on them bank robbers in one of the most disrespectful fashions. So shout out to Venom for that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit the like button, 500 likes for part 2. Again, every day in my server, I'm going to be doing coffee chat in the VC. Come talk to the boy. And I'll actually be doing a session after this live premiere. So come check out the server. It's free. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. Alright everybody, what's going on? It's YFV here, and exciting news, I'm back. We're going to be uploading a lot because the next few weeks I am on vacation, which means full on putting basically all my time and energy into YouTube stuff. So let's really get it going on the road to 10K. This is a fun video. Now, when I initially put out the teaser for this, right, it seemed to be a lot of people thought this would be a video targeting Spider-Man in a negative way. I don't know why. I know Kingpin is a Spider-Man op, but these two need each other for scaling, so it would be kind of dumb to slander. But that's not what it is. This is a celebration of Kingpin throughout the years, how goony he is, how strong he is. I'm going to review his best statements, best feats, best wank, and then, you know, a brief synopsis of some of the stuff he's done in his career and why I think personally, he's one of the most underrated street tier fighters ever, not just in Marvel. Real quick, if you guys like content like this, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my videos, because sometimes YouTube doesn't love me. Anyways, I don't want to waste any more time because I'm super excited about this. Let's start the Kingpin party. Now, first let's talk about best statements. First statement, according to, you know, some of the highest powers in New York City, Kingpin's mix of money, brains, and physical prowess and skill makes him unstoppable in New York. At the time, they were considering Spider-Man while saying this. Kingpin stated underrated in power, which is why beating Spider-Man was easy. Now, their first fight, Kingpin wore him out. And this, I personally feel, can be attributed to Spider-Man underestimated Kingpin. He wasn't holding back. He literally said, like, dang, I just hit him as hard as I could. Nothing happened. But literally, he just wasn't anticipating this the dude looks fat, right? Just some big looking fat ass to blitz him and put in work, right? So I would attribute that first one. It's fair to say that, right? So Spider-Man fans, you can say that, and it's pretty reasonable. But moving on, he is stated to be at least as strong as Spider-Man when they next fight, if not stronger, as he ragdolls Spider-Man by the ankle. Spider-Man also, while fighting Kingpin, states that in combat, both before the fight begins with prep or, setting up the environment, to mid-combat manipulating what's going on, he admits Kingpin himself is a brilliant tactician in fights. Spider-Man actually says that he can't take many hits from Kingpin, and that he got super lucky that the strong punches thrown by Kingpin actually missed. He would have been a goner. And this is no slight, because you're going to see in the feats just who Kingpin's rocked over the years. According to Civil War II, an argument can be made that he scales above the elite criminal minds on Earth casually. When he got pulled up on by a team that included Falcon and Spectrum, he told them hoes to back up and get up out his face before it got real. And then he threatened to fold Falcon and his merry band of bitches. He said, look, dog, I'm Wilson Fisk. I don't care if you have Cap's shield in a new outfit, dog. You don't step to me, so get the fuck out my house, dog. And they left. They didn't really want smoke with him. He's crazy. Later on, in a fight against Punisher, Kingpin actually states he basically toys with Punisher, and he doesn't personally see Punisher as someone on his level as a combatant. Also, it's stated in a file review during an investigation of a murder that Kingpin has killed many agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Again, later in Kingpin's solo run, it is admitted that he is an absolute genius as a criminal tactician. During an argument with a fellow criminal about how insane Kingpin really is, he notes that some of the greatest global conquerors were crazy. So it's not bad to be crazy. Questionable, because he's basically like, look, dog, Hitler might have been bad, but he got buckets. I don't like that argument. It's a little weird. But, Kingpin was like, look, I'm going to rock out regardless and get money. And he's not wrong. He gets money and he rocks out. Now, he does imply later, I think this is interesting, that he's developed basically a form of precog, which helps him in combat in situations that involve, sinister forces working against him. Kingpin is in contention for the most dangerous person Daredevil's ever beefed with. Daredevil and Spider-Man are also stated unable to impede him when he decides he's going to make a play. Like, there's no really stopping Kingpin when he decides to turn up. Apparently, according to an exchange he has between a reporter, he once folded Vulture for the memes, and it was hilarious. It's off-panel, but I think it's funny that Vulture gets shit on by basically anyone associated with Spider-Man. Vulture takes a lot of L's in the Spider-Man Rogue Gallery. Kingpin is considered a valuable ally for Doctor Strange, who lost Daredevil already to Baron Mordo. This, of course, is when Baron Mordo was trying to take over New York and everything else, and the Sanctum was taken over and compromised. And at that point, Wilson Fisk has to pull up and help save everything. At this point, Doctor Strange and crew are not confident they'll win, but while in his personalized golf cart getting them away from the scene, Kingpin's like, yo, dog, relax. I don't take L's. He then reveals he has better magic plugs than Doctor Strange himself and negged his tower being touched, unlike the Sanctum of Doctor Strange. So literally, Kingpin's tower has better magical defenses than Doctor Strange's inner sanctum. I don't know why you guys think modern Kingpin's trash. I know he jobbed to Back in Black Spider-Man, but that's a one-time thing. He's a goon literally every other time in 616. Like, I don't get where the hate and downplay for Kingpin comes from. He's hilarious. He also admits and proves in a battle with a witch and an evil force that scared the likes of Strange, He's literally willing to sell his soul to get the W. He's not going to lose to a hoe. He's gonna turn up and take the L after, but he's going to get the W against you right now. He is a GOAT. He states at some point early on in Spider-Man that he can fade Spider-Man whenever he wants to if he's motivated to do so. I think this is interesting because he's basically talking about how he doesn't actually really have beef with Spider-Man per se. It's more so Spider-Man's a thorn in his side. He doesn't really care about Spider-Man. He's trying to get money. He's trying to make moves, you know, and sometimes Spider-Man's in the way. So he gets pushed off to the side. It's not really personal for him, and he says, if it was, you'd be dead, which is interesting to consider. One time, in a fit of rage, Kingpin says Spider-Man runs from direct fights, which literally, you know, Spider-Man has talked about in their prior engagements. You know, he doesn't like fighting Kingpin straight on. And that when enraged, he can beat a dozen Spider-Man if they chose to fight him straight up. So he was like, yo, if you had Shadow Clones and popped out a dozen more Spideys, I'm beating all of you up. Pretty impressive, bold statement. But enraged Kingpin is stupid strong. He also, after an exchange with Red Wing, who is Falcon, and Captain America, he reminds Captain America how they are easily on par if they were ever to throw down. And they do throw down, which I'll reveal the result of that later in the video. Red Skull actually states he would never confront Kingpin physically on purpose. At least he's going to avoid it at all costs. Keep note, he's literally confronted Cap multiple times, and he does not want to confront Kingpin. Spider-Man once says that Kingpin's standard Cane Ray, if fired full blast, can fry him, which is pretty impressive. Onlookers in the exchange between Kingpin and Spider-Man said that Kingpin appeared to be way more powerful than Spider-Man himself, as Spider-Man was, like, literally to himself at one point was like, yeah, I'm dead if he actually gets a clean hit, because he was about to literally splatter his skull. Also, at one point in a fight, Spider-Man mistaked his strength for a mutant, as Kingpin was literally throwing around a 3,000-pound dumbbell trying to take off Spidey's head. It was pretty funny. Now, let's move on to best feats. This is a bit longer of a section, so I'm going to try to be a little faster talking about it just so we get through it all in a good amount of time, because, you know, I was thorough with the Kingpin research. He's hilarious. First up, in their first ever fight, Kingpin folded the hell out of Spider-Man. No doubt about it. Spidey got folded. It is what it is. He also casually negged Spider-Man trying to blitz, grabbed both of his wrists and put him in a vice lock. Spider-Man also, in the grappling exchange, was getting dominated physically by Kingpin. Kingpin was literally slamming him around like a child. Spider-Man also really struggled and couldn't seem to overpower him. And it mostly, at that point in time, Spider-Man was trying to resort to long, drawn-out fights where he could find a weakness where it's like he just didn't want to straight-up fight Kingpin. A really impressive feat and respect Spider-Man has. You don't have to agree that they're relative or if Kingpin's above. You don't have to agree with that. But Spider-Man respects that and believes that. He knocked away an amped Daredevil before, who was trying to take him out from behind. Jigsaw, who is an opponent for Punisher, constantly and casually gets bitched by Kingpin, no problem. He once got riddled with bullets and it just pissed him off. It doesn't even seem to break through the first layer of his skin. He has abnormally padded skin. He evaded casually Hawkeye, who was tracking him. No problem at all getting out of there. Hawkeye is one of the premier agents in the world. So evading him is quite impressive. He's also shown casually one-shotting people, snapping their necks like twigs. Punisher isn't direct about fighting Kingpin. He avoids straight-on fights with Kingpin, similar to Spider-Man. And once again, Kingpin called him out on it. If you duck direct fights with Kingpin, he's going to let you know you're a bitch for it. I love it. He then blitzed Frank, who had prepped and cut the power. So Frank was controlling the battlefield, had prepped for this, and still was getting folded. This is when we see Kingpin tank a 10-inch blade to the chest and grab Punisher by the throat. He then beat Punisher, dropped him out a window. Like I said, Punisher literally prepped for this matchup. Kingpin got caught off guard, still won with that massive knife buried in his chest. He's a beast. He's also casually blitzed machine gun fire and just torn people apart, killing them all barehanded. Young Kingpin was able to stab someone for the disrespect faster than anyone around there could see. Keep in mind, Marvel humans literally think Beyonder runs like a Washington Redskins quarterback. These boys can see fast shit, alright? That's my point. He punched his punches when he hits people causes massive craters in the ground. Kingpin literally was unharmed from a Spider-Man dropkick and tells Spider-Man to relax. I thought this was hilarious. It was younger Kingpin getting established in the underworld, and Spider-Man came through the window, like, drop kicked him, and he was like, yo, bitch, like, relax, it's not that serious. He also casually folded a senator's son military level security team, no problem. Even as a young Kingpin, he was able to troll and lead Spider-Man on, manipulating him constantly in situations. Again, later in that comic with young Kingpin, a Spider-Man surprise strike to the face does 0 damage. He disarmed a dude while he was laying in a bathtub. You could either interpret it as he got the gun away from someone, or he had the Glock in the tub. Either way, you're not catching him slipping when he's washing his toes. Kingpin's gonna pop you if he's in the bathtub, okay? Showers, non-616, different story. We're not gonna talk about that. But in 616, catching Kingpin's lacking in the bathroom, not an option. He allows Spider-Man to hit him while enraged in order to frame Spidey. Enraged Spider-Man's punch barely made him bleed. He's, with 0 effort, folded several martial artists and seemed kind of bored doing it. Kingpin, one of the most important aspects of his character, if he takes an L to you, he's getting back at you 10 times worse. So, like, several of your friends will probably die just for you disrespecting. He absolutely folded Tombstone and tells him to remember who Kingpin is. He should know the vibes. You don't disrespect Kingpin, you get put down. Later on, I'll kind of discuss where Tombstone scales and why that's crazy. That he literally always beats him up. He easily blitzes gunmen that he sensed invading. He grabbed a dude and snapped his arm like a twig casually. He folds Tombstone just because he's annoyed. Like I said, that's constantly... like, it's constantly almost a meme in the comic. Like, Kingpin just beats up Tombstone for no reason all the time. He then, in one of my favorite exchanges, saved Doctor Strange in order for Doctor Strange to owe him a favor. He also survived an assault from a witch that pressed Strange. He rocked Moon Knight so bad with one punch that Moon Knight pretended to be knocked out so he didn't have to fight Kingpin. Ridiculous. Spider-Man is unable to strangle Kingpin even when using his legs and stating he was squeezing with all power possible. Literally going all out, couldn't grapple with Kingpin. Kingpin overpowered him once again and took him down. He folds Spider-Man constantly with grappling. It's just, for street tiers, grappling with Kingpin's a nightmare for most of them. 6 world-renowned martial artists couldn't even make him break a sweat, and it took him just a couple seconds to take them all down. He almost knocked out Spider-Man once with a simple bear hug, but he underestimated Spider-Man's ability to recover and didn't finish him off, so he dropped him kind of prematurely. Spider-Man really struggles to surprise KO Kingpin, and Kingpin dropped the ceiling on him with a cane blast casually. Kingpin has been shown, like, simply tearing open a massive bank vault with his bare hands. He is able to 4D chest Spidey when Spidey was being too annoying. Kingpin's like, okay, I'm actually going to plot on you. Spidey can't blitz Kingpin once more as he gets tactically folded. Most times when you try to blitz, he gets a hold of your wrists and just controls your wrists from there. Kingpin once more outgrapples and overpowers Spider-Man. He gets up a few seconds after taking a blast that Spidey said would one-shot Spider-Man. So remember prior I stated the cane full blast was stated to fry Spider-Man if it was to hit. That same blast hits Kingpin and he doesn't even get knocked out. Also, it's stated similar to his precog, he can also sense your power, so if you're a powerful opponent, he's going to know. He also casually tore open prison cell bars. The best all-out strike from Spidey, swinging from his web full with his feet, couldn't put down Kingpin. At that point, Spider-Man was like, dude, you have to have armor for skin. You're not normal. Like, that destroyed people, and it didn't even knock him out. Like I mentioned before, he got into a scrap with Captain America and folded him. Cap hit him with that shield, and Kingpin said, look, dog, for all your, Boy Scout attributes, your super soldier serum, your skills, and your shield, that still ain't shit to big Kingpin. He then folds him and was going to kill him, but Falcon intervened and saved Captain America. So he actually straight up beat Cap even when Cap had his shield. If Spidey didn't block at one point, he stated Kingpin would have killed him with a strike. It appears in Rage, Serious Kingpin, his strikes can literally kill Spider-Man. Pretty consistently, at least in the old runs. The schemer who had beat Spidey in that same comic instantly conceded when Kingpin got to him. Kingpin also did the best against an amped Spider-Man compared to the rest of the Rogue Gallery. This Spider-Man had like 6 arms and was going around mopping the floor with everyone, and Kingpin by far did the best out of his whole group. Fresh out of a coma, he bullied Spider-Man physically, and then he, like I said, mentioned before, his serious strikes are dangerous. He almost killed Spider-Man with a stomp to the face. Once more in a grappling exchange with Spider-Man, Spider-Man had the advantage of leverage of where he was, yet Kingpin was still able to slam him through a brick wall and then KO him. Daredevil in their first fight was slightly weakened and absolutely got mauled by Kingpin in one shot, and he was literally hurting himself trying to hurt Kingpin. Kingpin then later one-tapped the door casually that Daredevil nearly tore everything on himself, like up trying to open. It was a massive strain. He one-shots demons that stated to serve the boss of all demons. He fights against Spider-Man have lasted as long as 6 hours before. He has folded Deadpool like a damn pretzel when Deadpool annoyed him. In an 8v1 versus the 8 best prodigies at martial arts school in the world, Kingpin won in seconds. And like I said before, he's beaten the hell out of Punisher. And he's low-diffed him casually even when Punisher had weapons. Next time they clashed, Kingpin beat up Punisher so bad and was so disgusted by how trash Punisher was, he didn't even kill him. He didn't think he was worthy of it. In his Gucci mink robe, Kingpin once lost to Kingpin in a drawn-out battle. However, I thought this was impressive because for context, like I said, Kingpin's in his robe, pissed about his girl disappearing, so he's just raging. Panthers also conceded in this fight that he prepped for the entire battle in every step of the way. Despite that, Kingpin was still physically ragdolling him. So still an impressive feat for Kingpin. He, at one point, fought Red Skull, who is a clone of Captain America's body, and is considered a world, renowned martial artist and a hand-to-hand combat specialist. And he got folded horribly by Kingpin to the point that Kingpin almost killed him. He also constantly tracks Norman Osborn and, in my opinion, seems to be smarter than him. He said it's casual, but he doesn't have beef with Osborn, so he has no need to do anything with the information. Also, this is an important feat, and I feel like it should be talked about. Spider-Man fans literally pissed themselves when he was shown to, quote, not hold back with a punch on accident and, knock Scorpion's jaw off. So, he would knock human jaws off, kill them if he wasn't holding back. Kingpin casually tore a dude's arm off, just shaking his hand. He was like, let me send a message. Shook firmly, arm literally ripped off. That's not impressive? Like, what? And he wasn't trying. He wasn't going all out. He literally was just shaking it. You could see it. Like, there was no crazy effort, like full body yank. Nothing like that. It was a handshake. And he was able to casually rip the dude's arm off. Like, come on. Kingpin's stupid strong. We need a story explaining why he's so damn strong. Like, is he a mutant? Is he inhuman? What is he? Why is he so damn strong? We need to know. He knocked a bloodlusted Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, out before. He also was able to casually almost delimb Black Cat. Like, he literally was going to do it if interference wasn't run. And he's also folded platoons of ninjas pretty casually while unarmed. So, you know, that I don't want to waste too much time and go over the wank. It's not necessary. This is literally just like a review of his street tier stuff. So I'm going to give a synopsis, you know, of some of the things he's done for his street tier resume. He has, in my opinion, at least over a 70% win-loss ratio versus Spider-Man safely, which is impressive and should be one of the highest for Spider-Man's rogue gallery. Spider-Man has one of the most impressive rogue galleries of any street tier ever. I don't care. Don't at me. He has more than 10 wins against Spidey. Most times, Spidey is actually the one dropping in on him, and Kingpin doesn't even want to fight him. He has beaten Punisher every time they have fought in 616 that I could find. Currently, I think that is at 3-0. Punisher had weapons, and Kingpin was unarmed in 2 of those battles, and it didn't matter. He is 1-0, or 100% against Captain America, and it was an easy win for him. He's 1-0, 100% against Red Skull. Skull had Cap's clone body, is a master of hand-to-hand, and has bested Black Widow, Nick Fury, Black Panther, and has done well on several occasions versus Cap, and has even beaten Spidey before, but got fucked on by Kingpin. It is what it is, man. He also has multiple wins over Tombstone, and routinely bitches him throughout history. Tombstone has beaten Spidey and beat up Moon Knight before, yet gets mauled. 1-0 against Moon Knight. He hit Moon Knight so hard, Moon Knight feigned the KO to duck a real fight. He would be 2-0 against Red Skull, but like I said, Red Skull ducked meeting him again. And in my opinion, he by far did the best against an amped Spider-Man with 6 arms compared to the rest of Spider-Man's rogues. So, there you have it. Where do you think Kingpin ranks among street tiers? I think, personally, he's one of the best and one of the most underrated in comics, for sure. Given throughout time what he's been able to pull off against Spider-Man, Captain America, Red Skull, all of them. Consistently one of the most dangerous characters shown in New York. And I think he's a monster. Check out my live. It should be a live stream tonight. If not tonight, soon. I'm going to be organizing a street tier list. Quote street tier, because street tier is low-key and not even a tier. But you guys are going to be able to tune in and live help arrange the tier. You will get to help impact where we put each character. Sorry, hairball. And when we do that, after, I will compare it to my list I make before the stream. So that should be super fun. A chance for fans to interact with me. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. But anyways, it's been your boy, YFE. I hope you guys enjoyed this video reviewing the God of Goons, Kingpin. And I will see y'all later. Peace.